Thank you.
Thank you. Hello everyone, so we made it to the Split Airport. We caught a bus at 4:40 in the afternoon. It was 45 kunas each and it took us directly here. It was really hot on the bus, so we're starting this travel day off very sweaty and very hot. But it was a pretty smooth ride and now we just gotta go check in. So currently it's about 5:30 and our plane doesn't actually take off until 10:20 tonight. So you may be asking why we're this early, but we got bored, so we came early and we wanted to have a supper here and just be here because we were just sitting in our hostel all day long with all of our stuff. So yeah, that's why we're here. We tried to check in just, you know, on the slim chance that we could check in this early, but he kind of just laughed at us and said, no, you probably can't check in for another 2 to 3 hours. So we've come up to the cafe. The Split Airport is very nice. So we have a view of the landing strip behind us and then also the entrance to the airport. So I think we're just gonna set up camp here for a little bit. Maybe we'll get some food, some drinks. I don't really know. Okay, so we've successfully killed 2 hours here and now it's 3 hours before our plane takes off, so we're allowed to check in. So that's what we're gonna go do. Alright, so we checked in, we made it through security, we made it through them checking our passports, and it went relatively smoothly for the amount we kind of screwed up in this process. So for some reason when we checked into Ryanair, which is the company that we're flying with for the first leg of our trip, they didn't give us a QR code for our boarding pass like I got on the last one when Nerissa and I were flying to Italy. So the lady at the check-in desk was kind of confused because the app was telling us that we had to go and get it printed off, but there wasn't a QR code. But anyway, she printed it off. So last time I really made an effort to try and make my bag as small as possible. I stuffed my pillow full. I was wearing a whole bunch of layers, but I didn't do that this time. I put some stuff in Sydney's bag, but I mainly left it the same. And we had to, of course, show her our carry-on bag because Ryanair is pretty strict with that. And she kind of gave me a look like like you're kind of on the edge of it, but she let me go through with it. So that was really good. And then we went through security. Sydney forgot to put her liquids in a little clear plastic bag, but hers didn't get stopped. I forgot to finish the water from my water bottle, so of course my bag got taken away and they were like, okay, well you can either drink it now or just go pour it out. So I just had to quickly chug my water and head out. But yeah, it was kind of eventful. It's like we've never traveled before. Those are very much rookie mistakes, but whatever. We're at our gate, so everything should be good from here on out.
Okay, so boarding just started, and that was insane. Everyone just runs to the gate, and wherever you end up pretty much. It's wild. I'm not really sure I understand it, but we'll go with it, see what happens.
Okay, so last time I flew with Ryanair, everything went super seamlessly. But like I said before, this time they didn't give us a QR code when we checked in, which caused an issue when we were trying to check in person with them getting our tickets. And then also again, as we were trying to board this flight, because it didn't say whether we were priority or like what the status was. And you need a priority pass ticket in order to have like a carry-on suitcase with you. And it was the same lady who gave us the tickets that was then boarding us onto the plane. And I was like, how did you not ask us if we had priority boarding before when you were printing us off our tickets? So that was a hassle. I had a panic attack. Not really. I was panicking a little bit, so Graham took the phone and found out the details for us. We remained calm, found our priority listing, and then she let us in. But just, oh my gosh, it was a time. It was a time. But we're on the plane. It's very, very hot. I hope that they pump the AC soon. And I think it's like a 3-hour flight to Dublin, so should be smooth. I want to sleep on this flight. Alright, so we've made it to the Dublin airport. The flight was very hot and they actually didn't dim the lights at all, so it was very bright the entire time, so I didn't really sleep. So I'm very, very tired. I think it's about 12:30 Dublin time, but that's like 1:30 in the morning split time. So I'm getting very sleepy, but we picked up Cindy's bag, no problem. Because we booked Ryanair and then booked with WestJet, we had to go out, get our bags, come back in, and now we have to go check in. So hopefully the WestJet lets us check in for our flight, but we're technically like 10 hours early because our flight doesn't leave until like 10:15 in the morning. So we're just gonna go talk to some people. So we've made it to the WestJet area and there is no people. So check-in is definitely not available right now. So we're gonna head back up, maybe see if there's some food. We're kind of hungry because obviously there was no snacks that were for free on that flight. So yeah, then we gotta find a nice corner to camp out in for the next 10 hours. Okay, we found our place to sleep. We found some food to eat. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning, everyone. As you can hear, the music is still blasting. And yeah, it was a very eventful, maybe 4 hours of, I wouldn't say sleep, I would say lying down. The floor it just sucks all of your heat from you. It is just so cold and the AC is blasting. And I was so happy that the lights were off and it was a dark corner. The lights came on. Okay, so we got here at about 2:30 in the morning and the lights came on at 3:30 and stayed on. So it was a very eventful sleep. I don't think the other two slept very good either, but that's okay. Graham went for a little walk this morning and happened to go down to where we're gonna have to check Sydney's bag before we go through security, and apparently it's a gong show down there. And we've heard from other travelers too that the Dublin airport has been running really behind, like checking people in, and the wait times have been really long. We didn't experience anything coming in here, but I think when we try and go back through security, we're gonna have a little bit of a time. So yeah, we might have to leave sooner than we thought, which is totally fine. Coffee!
Woohoo! A little bit of coffee.
Honestly, after that little sleep, I'm not feeling too bad. Body's not hurting too bad. This coffee is helping though, so I'm gonna very much enjoy this. I also can't even remember the last time I had Starbucks or a big coffee. Like, all of the ones that I had in Europe were a small cappuccino. Well, I had some big ones in Greece, but after Greece, I could not find a big cup of coffee for the life of me. So this is a small. I love it. Well, we came down and it was a sea of people, just like Graham said it would be. But there's a couple more people checking everyone in, so hopefully the process goes a little bit faster. But yeah, we are standing in a very long line. Luckily, we have 4 hours until our plane leaves. An hour and 20 minutes later, we made it through that line. We got Sydney's bag checked, got our boarding passes printed off, and now we gotta head to security. Okay, so the people that we met at the hostel were correct. The check-in process took a very long time. So we stood in that line for an hour and 20 minutes, and then we went up into a different section to go through security, and then that took about 50 minutes of standing in line, but it was a pretty good process. Like, there was a line, and then a gate, and then another line, and then another gate, and then a line, and then they branched you off. So like, you weren't like standing still, which was really nice. It made it feel like it was going faster. And then we had to walk to a very different side of the airport to get to where our gate was. But we're finally here, and it's 8:30 in the morning, and our flight boards at 9:35, I believe. So we have just about an hour until we get to go on our flight. And this flight will be 7.5 hours. But on the ticket, it said that it didn't come with a meal. So that's a long time without food. So I think we're gonna walk around this area and see if we can pick up some food and bring it with us, because I'm gonna definitely need something on the flight. Okay, it is currently 10:20. We were supposed to board at 9:35, so it's almost an hour later, and the line is going at a turtle's pace, because I think they're checking people's QR codes, which is only like one extra step, so I'm not exactly sure why it's taking so long.
There's only one person.
Ah, there is one worker. And they kind of came up, like all of the workers came like right before we were supposed to start boarding, so I think flights were just kind of delayed, but no announcements have been made or anything. We're all just kind of left in the dark a little bit, so I mean, hopefully we can board soon. There's probably people who have been on that plane for like an hour, but I think our strategy is just sit here, board last, because then we don't have to sit in a crammed airplane. Also, we just found out it's not a big airplane. It's just like a medium-sized airplane that we're taking back to Toronto. So yeah, I think the lack of sleep is catching up with us. I think our energy is kind of going downhill at this point. I just want to get to Canada. So I think we're all just a little confused. So to get to Europe, we flew with Air Canada, but we got 2 meals. We got supper and we got breakfast, as well as like drinks and snacks and stuff like that. But we also got like pillows and blankets because it's a long flight. But we're actually in like a pretty small plane, which explains why there's no meal included in this flight. I just don't think they can store that much food on this flight. This is like one of the planes that I've taken from Toronto to Saskatchewan, which is within Canada. So it's crazy to think that we're taking this overseas. So not really sure what WestJet is doing at this moment, but here we are in a small plane for the next 7.5 hours.
And it has no TVs, which is very disappointing.
There's no TVs either. But I downloaded a whole bunch of Netflix, so it's like not a big deal, but like still, it's the little things that make your travel day just a little bit better. And this maybe just wasn't it, but that's fine. So I guess in 7.5 hours we'll be back in Canada though, which is very exciting. Food. It's a turkey sandwich, and then it comes with 2 bite-sized brownies. So, good job, WestJet. We appreciate the food. All right, so we're back in Canada, which is super exciting. So this isn't actually obviously our last destination. Our last destination is obviously Saskatoon, but we do have about an 8-hour layover here in Toronto. So we did have to go get Cindy's bag, which was no problem. We found it. It was there before us. But then WestJet has this, I don't know if it's a new system. It's new to me at least. You had to pick up the bag and then carry it to this part of the airport I've never been to, and then like drop it off in like an oversized baggage area, and then that's how they get it to your connecting flight. And then we went through like a mini security, but before that we were like popped up in like some area where all the gates were, and we thought we had to go through the main security again. It was a little confusing, so that's why I did not update you earlier, but we are in where our gate is. Oh, we have so much time to kill, so I think we're gonna go get some food, maybe find a nice place to set up for the next couple of hours. But yeah, the flight here was good. It was actually a lot better than we thought it was gonna be. We were being kind of negative at the beginning. I'll admit that we were being kind of negative. I think it was from like lack of sleep, lack of food, lack of coffee, all these things. But they did feed us on the flight multiple times. We got some drinks. And it was good. It honestly wasn't that bad. But I'm glad we're here. I have been waiting for this moment. I'm excited.
How much are ice caps?
I don't know.
Okay, we got Tim Hortons. We had to do it. Robin said, why didn't you try your donut on camera? Because it's too good. It's already half gone. We got a honey dip.
It's not for
just
me.
as good as I remember. Wow.
So Tim Hortons is just one of those things I was thinking about on my trip of how good it would be to have it when I got back. So very glad I could pick it up now. Probably don't need a coffee at 3 in the afternoon, but I'm gonna drink it anyways. Our flight doesn't board until 8:55, so I lied. There wasn't, because our first flight was delayed, we don't have as long of a layover here, so that's kind of nice. I think we're gonna get some food later, because obviously we're not gonna get any on the second flight. It's like a 3 or 3.5 hour flight, depending on which way the wind is going. So yeah, I think we're just gonna hang out. Oh, and you've probably noticed that we're wearing masks, and that's because for the first flights, they weren't mandatory at all, but in the Toronto Pearson Airport, which is where we're at, they are. So the flight coming here and leaving from, we'll just have to wear them the whole time, no big deal. But I just want to say overall, when Nerissa and I went to Athens in the first place, We had to do so many forms. We were constantly checking to see if things changed. Even though we just had a transfer in Switzerland, we had to fill out specific forms for that too. So it was just like a gong show, and we were so worried the whole time. So to not really have to do anything apart from the Arrival Canada app, which was super easy, and just like board the airplane, it was so nice. So yeah, travel's already changing back, which is lovely.
Okay, so the sandwiches on the plane didn't quite fill me up, so I went to Subway because I smelt it and it just instantly craved it. So I got the Italian BMT with ranch, pizza sauce, and a whole bunch of different veggies on it. This is my go-to, so I know it's delicious. Yeah, so I'm gonna enjoy.
It's a cat on the shoulder.
Sydney, first reaction to seeing a cat on the shoulder?
I thought it was his hair. I was really confused. Alright, so we've just been chilling for the past couple of hours, and we just got a notification that our flight has been changed to a gate on literally the opposite side of the airport. So we're gonna pack up and head there now. Okay, so we're still waiting to board our flight. Our flight doesn't board until 8:55 p.m. and it's currently like almost 8:30, so we're almost there. But Sydney, Graham, and I were just chatting, and we figured out that we left our hostel 33 and a half or 34 hours ago, but we've been up for about 46 hours now, and I've only just barely napped in the Dublin airport. I would say maybe I got like an hour of sleep altogether. So yeah, by the time we get back to Saskatoon and by the time I get in my bed, I will have been up for about 48 hours. I think we're all not feeling too hot right now. So hopefully this plane ride doesn't feel super long and we will be back home before we know it. Got gate changed again for the second time today. So we're moving, but at least this time it's way closer. Woo! Last flight! Okay, so we've boarded the flight. It's the same size as the one that we took from Dublin to Toronto. It's just an older version, but honestly, it's the one that we take usually, actually. We usually take smaller propeller planes to Saskatoon, so this is a nice treat. And they gave us some sanitary wipes to wipe down everything before we got on, which is always an added bonus. And they were looking for people to check their carry-on, free of charge, of course. Just because the flight is fully booked. So Graham and I just gave him our carry-on luggage because we have to wait for Sydney's checked bag anyways when we get to Saskatoon. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the last stretch of our trip and I'm so excited because it has been a long time since we've slept in a nice bed. So I'm very excited for that, and I'm obviously very excited to see family again. So I think that this is gonna feel like a long flight just because we're so excited to get there, but it should be a good ride. time to go see family. And just like that, we're back in Saskatchewan. So this is actually a couple days later. That travel day was so long. I think we stayed up for about maybe like 48 hours with the odd nap here and there. So by the time we actually got back home, we were absolutely exhausted and went to bed right away, pretty much. Didn't really have a chance to chat with family at that point. And then I think jet lag kind of got the best of me for the next 2 days, but I also, it was getting things like my hair cut, I was moving all my stuff, unpacking some of my stuff, visiting family that I haven't seen in a while, so I didn't actually end this vlog. This, I guess, brings us to the end of our Europe series. Nerissa's already been home for about 2 weeks now, so I haven't actually gotten the chance to see her. It feels like I haven't seen her in forever since we spent 24/7 together for about 3 months. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching our series. I think we'll probably come out with a couple videos based on this series afterwards. But for the most part, this is the end. So I really hope you guys enjoyed watching and you enjoyed watching us do this really long travel day back. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. See if there's anything that we can afford. Dang it. Okay, I'm just gonna want to stop singing for 1 second. Rightfully so, we're a little bit too, should I wait for the announcements to be over? Rightfully so, we're, I think I could talk over that.
Yeah, you're good.
Right? How many times did I say this?
Rightfully so. We're early and can't check in. Those are the words Robin is looking for.